Is GunZ ready for release? No. But if you were to accept a really scuffed product, then it's close. But the thing is, I don't think GunZ re-release should be scuffed. Like, ideally, you want it to be really good, and then this game, I think, has the potential to actually be really big again. Like, maybe not like, you know, millions of players, but like at least several 100,000, I would think. And I think in the current state of the game, it's just not good enough to achieve that. And Sonicsoft is a company that, like, their business model is buying old dead games and then re-releasing them to just make money off of them. And with Steam GunZ, like, they know that this is like their biggest IP they own, and that like it does have the chance of becoming big again. And so they are putting extra effort into making it better. But the problem is, like, certain things, either they're like unaware of or they're really struggling to fix. I would guess they're more so just struggling to fix them. And so we're kind of just left with like an imperfect version of the game that has all kinds of issues. And they are addressing like some of them and fixing some of them, but it's not really to the level that I think it needs to be for it to like release and become big, or at least have a decent chance of becoming big. I don't really think that like releasing the game in the current state gives it any kind of significant chance of it being big again, because most people are just going to log on, realize there's a bunch of issues, and then just not log on again for a while, and that is pretty much going to kill the game. Like, the game needs to come out and instantly it needs to be like quite popular, because like shooters in general need like a population to survive, like to any degree pretty much, outside of just like playing with your friends. And here's the issue. This is the 5th beta, and it feels like it's like half done. Like, there's still so much. Like, they just released Quest, and they don't have Prison or Dungeon Quest. Like, there's all kinds of issues with this beta. There was like crashes when you load like the training mode videos. There were crashes when you loaded any boss fight mansion, like Fake Goblin King, for example. And it was crashing for like everyone. Some people couldn't buy torn pages, including myself. You know, and the game's supposed to come out in like 3 weeks. I just don't see this game becoming big. So like, ideally, I would want them to continue delaying it. Even though this is the 5th beta, like, I would want to see like 10 betas at this rate, at least. Or just an ongoing beta that they keep working on until the game actually is good, or at least pretty good. Because I don't even think the private servers for this game are very good. Like, I think they're all kind of bad. So like, if they could just get to be as good as a private server or better, then people aren't really going to play private servers anymore, and they'll just play this, which is what they need. But like, there's been so many betas and so many delays and stuff. Like, this game was supposed to come out like a year ago or something. I don't even know. They've changed all the different dates and like so many things so many times. Like, the 4th beta was supposed to be the last beta, but it was so broken they had no choice but to add the 5th beta. And like, because of all these delays, I feel like they've kind of like maxed out the amount of investment that they can do into the game. And it's like, I feel like the writing is kind of on the wall that like it's not going to be good enough when it comes out to become big again. And so like, at a certain point, it's like they kind of have to release the game, because if it's not going to be big, then they can't justify like spending like 4 years of development on it, for example. And they kind of just have to release it and make the money they can make and just hope for the best. You know, and maybe they can reinvest that money into improving it. But like, I'm not even sure that's worth it for them, because like, the game needs to be good when it comes out. Because if they do like slow trickle updates and like over the course of like 6 months or a year it becomes good, like that's not enough. Like people are going to have formed their opinions of the game by then. And even if people come back to the game, like there won't be this big surge of players that like the game really requires to like totally pop off. Now, I could be wrong on that, but that's just what I think. And so I kind of wanted to like, at least in the feedback I'm giving them, like make things a little simpler and kind of also expect less from the game. Like I'm not expecting the game to pop off very big. And so I wrote my feedback and I organized it into like different degrees of how important things are, and I think there's really only one thing that like absolutely has to be fixed before release, and that's the lag when you get achievements. They added an achievement system into the game, and I actually think it's pretty good if it worked, but it lags you, and I think it also lags everyone else in the game when someone gets an achievement. So everyone's getting these like lag spikes, and that's just not acceptable at all. Now, there's a number of other important things that I want to go over as well, but first, I just want to change my stream layout a little bit, or my recording layout. Just want to close the game capture for a second. Yeah, the game still crashes sometimes. For me, it's not as bad as other people. Some people actually get crashes quite often, which is, you know, part of the reason why I think the game's not ready for release. If we were to expect like a good game that could become very popular again, I'm gonna turn the game capture back on. Just make it smaller, like this. There we go. And you'll see my bingo card. In the center, the free space is the map collision is still buggy, because I don't think they're gonna fix that. I'm not sure if that's actually caused by them making the maps in like 3ds Max instead of GTK Radiant, but regardless of the issue, like I think to fix it they actually just have to go through and like walk into a bunch of walls and see what's broken and then manually adjust it and then test it again. Like I think it's actually a lot of work to like fix the maps. So I don't expect the maps to get fixed. Some maps are worse than others. Like Battle Arena is actually pretty good, but like Castle, even though there's no like terrain changes to the map, in theory, it actually still has a ton of issues. Like you can't wall climb at as steep of angles, which affects like the reloads on the wall. Like if you were to do this and the reload and then do like more wall kicks, like those don't work the same way that they used to. That's like an example of like they didn't try to change the map, but because they changed like the textures using like 3ds Max or whatever, or even if it's GTK Radiant, there's just some kind of bug that makes GunZ maps really wonky with collision when you save them and load them into the game, basically. So like the fix I want to see for that stuff is just adding in the old maps as an option at the very least. Now I also would like to see the old maps used in League mode and Clan War, like the competitive modes. But realistically, I just don't think they're going to do this. I don't think they're going to fix the map collision. You know, at best I can hope for the old maps as an option. So that's why it's a free space. In this beta, the 5th beta, by the way, they still don't have training shotguns working. You can finally reload the training shotgun, but there's only one training shotgun. And they made it so you can equip 2 of the same shotgun now. So now everyone that doesn't know the game really well is like equipping 2 of the same shotgun, expecting it to work. And then like when they start trying to learn the game, they're like, why doesn't reload shot work? Oh, well, it's because you have 2 of the same shotgun and you're not supposed to be able to do that. You know, if you're a new player to GunZ and you're like, okay, well, I want to train, I want to practice, and I want to learn reload shot, or even just switch shot, you're like, okay, the training shotgun, that's what I'm supposed to use. You equip 2 training shotguns because you see everyone uses 2 shotguns in this game. And then you go into training and you're like, why doesn't it work? I've already seen this from like 5 different people, just this beta. And like, this is like the 5th beta, so it's like, there's not that many new players in this specific beta. And there's already that many people that I have personally seen have issues with it. People are just gonna run into that issue and like stop playing. That's just like one example of like many things that will like cause the game to not pop off like it potentially could. And the fact that we're on the 5th beta and there's no working training shotguns, like that, to me, that's such a joke. Like, I've seen many new private servers launch. You know, I would join all kinds of new private servers back in 2010, and it was a common issue to have incorrect training shotguns when they first start. And it's always resolved like the first day of the server, because it's really simple to just change it and make it work. But somehow they don't have it working yet. So the current ones are 6 shots, so it's like, it doesn't even help that much compared to regular shotguns. And it's just confusing for new players, so they're still bugged. And that kind of is like the theme for the game. Like, there's a lot of like issues that just aren't getting fixed. So the training shotgun, technically, if you equip 1 of them, is slightly better than using normal shotguns, because then you don't need as much ammo to maintain your ammo in the shotguns, but it's still not that useful for practicing. So that's just one silly thing that's new this beta that is just broken, even though it's like supposed to be a fix. The hit reg in the game is still pretty much the same. It's still not very good. I did some testing on this finally, now that we've had access to a beta for a little bit longer. I wish they would just give like some of us like private access to the beta so we can like test things with like debug tools and everything. And I think it would help them a lot, but finally I've been able to sit down and test, and even standing completely still, shooting at like a stationary target that would just be on that wall there, like the damage would be incorrect. And I think it's because the shotgun spread is not accurate. Like, the shotgun spread you see on your screen is not the shotgun spread that is used in actual reality. The game is still like not smooth. It's smoother because they did finally improve the frame limiter, so you don't have to use an external frame limiter anymore. You can use the in-game one. It's like alright. But like, the shotguns are still 950 delay, which is annoying because perfect K style is 900 delay. The sword reload bug still exists. And speaking of bugs, the vial bug still exists. Like, this medkit still loads at 4 ammo instead of 5. The vial bug where you instantly heal all the ticks of the vial, that is still in apparently. I haven't seen it this beta, so maybe it happens less or something. But I was told that there's one player that knows how to do it like on command, and so they were abusing it in the competitive mode. And so like if they can't fix that because like it's too difficult to fix, like they can't figure out how to fix it, they need to just like remove the vial. We got 1 game of League, which they randomly made 5v5 instead of 4v4 this beta, and it failed to load in, so we didn't even get to test it. And they did 2 patches to fix League so that it would actually load in. But they changed it to duel mode, so like duel mode is not really what people want, because duel lobbies are not that hard to fill in custom rooms. People really want like 4v4 elim, and we didn't even get to test elimination in this beta because we only got 10 people in queue one time and it didn't load. And the previous beta, there was a bug where the win-loss wasn't tracked correctly and only the final round was counted. And I mean, with how things are going, I have to assume that bug is still in. So like if they just release the game without any more testing on League elim, then like the competitive players are not even gonna play because it's either not going to be a limb and they're not going to be happy, or like the win-loss is going to be tracked incorrectly and nobody's going to queue. And speaking of queuing, like they still aren't showing like the amount of people in game in League or queuing for League. So you're just queuing blindly and you can't join like custom rooms. You can like barely even talk to people because the chat is so bad. And like if you alt tab, you only have like 3 seconds to accept the game, or 5 seconds to accept the game, and like the sound, I'm not even sure if the sound plays because the sound effect is so quiet for when you find a game. You just have to watch for the flashing in the taskbar. There's just so many reasons like that like people might not queue the League mode, which is just gonna hurt the game. So I kind of just want to go through my feedback a little bit. I was just gonna kind of scroll through my feedback and talk about some of the things. So like the another like major issue that's been an issue for a while and is still not fixed is the sword mechanics are still ping dependent. So if you like slash someone, like if this pillar was someone, and you slash them just like this, and they're blocking, you will not get recoiled if you're below 40 ping. That's been an issue for at least 4 betas. The first beta swords were anti-lead, so I think it was a little different there. But since the second beta, that's been an issue, and it's still an issue. So you know, the game is supposed to be anti-lead, so you don't have to memorize pings and like have the game be affected by ping like it used to be. But it still is, because you still have to lead your sword shots, which, you know, I'm in the minority of wanting anti-lead sword. But even if we have lead sword, like the recoil system doesn't even work when you're at low ping. So it's like, it's really stupid because of that. The vial bug, you know, that needs to be fixed. The game balance is not great. In my opinion, I think the shotguns need to be the best weapons, like kind of by a bit of a margin, because the shotguns are really what make guns like a good game. Like as much as I love all the other weapon types, like they are not what make guns like a good game. It's the shotguns, the playstyle of shotguns is what's good. So I think they need to be the best weapons. And as they are now, like even in like most scenarios, I'm not sure they are the best. Like the 69 damage machine gun and the 38 damage SMGs, like those weapons, even the revolvers too, they are actually crazy. Like the revolvers have some counterplay where you could just equip HP rings instead of AP rings, and that makes them less bad. And I think they're probably okay if you have 2 HP rings on. So like it's kind of alright, because if like you end up going against a rev player, you can put on 2 HP rings sort of thing. I don't know. I think it's kind of annoying, and then revs should be weaker, but the 69 damage machine gun and the 38 damage SMGs, like those are really, really strong. And like I think they might be better than shotguns in like most situations. The rifles are also really good. Those I'm less sure about how good exactly they are. The point is, like, they brought the shotgun damage from 14 to 13, I think, last beta. And I'm worried that the shotguns aren't good enough. Because, like, the shotguns need to be good for the health of the game, for the success of the game. And so I really think they need to nerf the 69 damage machine gun down to, like, 61, in my opinion. 61 should be good. And the SMG from 38 to 36. They need to show how many people are queuing for League. They need to fix elimination mode if it doesn't work in League. I think they also need to fix dagger damage. Thankfully, they took my advice and like massively buffed the dagger damage, which I'm happy about. But like they kind of went too far. The daggers are like too strong now, so they need to nerf them down to like 33 damage, in my opinion. Auto reload and quick dash are some like accessibility features for like new players or casual players that don't want to learn all the difficulty of K-Style but still want to enjoy it. I think it's good that it's in the game, but it needs to not be in the competitive modes in League and Clan War, and currently it is. They just added like quests, which is nice. There's actually a surprising amount of people that enjoy Quest, but it's really annoying questing right now because everyone has to know that there's this like auto kick feature and force start feature in the game. Because if one player readies up, you have like 15 seconds for all the players to ready up and start the game. Otherwise, that everyone has to unready, or you have to just force start the game. And if you force start the game, then only the people that are ready to load into your quest. And so it's like you put up like the items for fake Goblin King, and one person readies because they're ready. The other person goes in their inventory because they're not ready. And then the game's like, you got to start the game or you're gonna get kicked. And then either you get kicked and someone else becomes the host and somebody joins and takes your spot, or you like start the game and then you only have like 2 or 3 players on your team and you like wasted your items. Like it's like they haven't even like tested this stuff on their own, which it would be fine if there was like a permanent ongoing beta that they just kept updating and like we could test it for them. But you know, the game's supposed to come out in like weeks. Like the game should be like nearly finished. Like only like small things should need to change, not like major things like that. I think for the smoothness of the game, both the sword reload bug needs to be taken out and the shotguns need to be 900 delay instead of 950. Clan War is still not in the game, by the way. Like, I don't think Clan War is like super necessary for the health of the game if League mode is actually good. But people do want to play Clan War, and it should not be that hard to add to the game. Like, I don't know if they're like trying to add more to it or something, but like Clan War already existed. Like there's not much they need to do with the programming for Clan War. Like they don't need to add like matchmaking or anything for Clan War. They just need to make it exactly how it was. Like it's already in the game. And I think they have it in KGunZ already, so like they already have the code done for it. So I don't know why it's not in the game yet. Like with how broken everything's been so far, like we kind of need to test Clan War before the game comes out. And if this is the last beta, then like either Clan War is not going to be in the game when the game comes out, or it's going to be probably broken somehow, since we haven't been able to test it. I don't know, maybe since there's no changes, they just aren't putting it in the betas so that it's like a new content when the game comes out for real. And they like know they don't need to test it because it's like the same. I don't know. But it concerns me that there's no Clan War yet on the 5th beta. So the 999 ping issues are mostly fixed, but now there's a new issue where like the game will start when people are still connecting to like the relay servers, the NAT connection or whatever it's called. So I moved houses and now I have to get the NAT connection or the relay servers, whatever you want to call it. And so like when I queue up for League in like a duel mode, the other guy that doesn't have to get the connection, he just loads in, he can move around, and everyone loses their invulnerability frames during this time. And so as soon as I load in, he could be standing right behind me and just instantly PV me with 2 shotgun shots. And I have to like guess where he is, find him, aim at him, block at him. You know, it's an advantage that shouldn't exist. So while, you know, you can connect to almost everyone now, there's only like a few people that aren't able to make a connection, which is good. That is a thing now for like competitive play, and even when you're playing just casually in duel rooms and elimination in particular, it's also an issue for that, which is annoying. Yeah, a lot of the features in game, like whispering players, talking to your clan where you do like this, you see that doesn't work. I think even in like later guns you could do like @ and do like that. Yeah, you see that message? That also doesn't work. That's supposed to be friend chat, I think. The team chat works. They fixed the team chat. I'm in training mode, so it doesn't work right now, but they fixed the team chat in like the 3rd or the 4th beta. I forget which one. But there's still so many like basic features that aren't implemented yet that like I think should be in the game. for this game to be like really popular. And so I don't know. I think I'm gonna stop going through my feedback now, because a lot of the stuff now is stuff that, you know, has been issues for a while and has been in a bunch of my other feedback, and I probably talked about it in other videos and stuff. I just think we need to like expect and also aim for like a minimum viable product at this point. And my expectation for this server is it's just basically gonna feel like another private server. Now, it is nice that it's an official server. You know, you're not gonna get DDoSed or blackmailed or hacked, you know, malware on your computer, all that kind of annoying stuff. Your password leaked. All that stuff is not gonna happen, at least not as bad, since it's an official server, which is nice. So I think because it's official, there's probably going to be slightly more players on this than there is on like the bigger private servers. But I don't think it's going to be like thousands of players like it used to, and I think it could be because of these issues. And I just don't think they're going to delay the game for another like year and a half. Like, I feel like they need to like iron everything out and get it really good. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to like give you guys realistic expectations, you know. I think there'll maybe be 100 to 200 concurrent players, usually around like the main times people play. Maybe closer to 100 during off times, 200 during peak times. Which is probably enough for like some league games to happen, some clan wars to happen. Maybe like one elimination lobby sometimes. Probably multiple death matches, a couple duel rooms. It'll be playable. It'll be playable. It's gonna require some setup for you to get your game to run smooth, feel all right. Like if I go to my settings, like you want to use external frame limiter and 333 to get slightly better frame limiter. You should turn down your graphics, lower resolution, off, on, off. Low, low, normal 16. That'll help the smoothness feel a little bit better. There's some other things you can change on your computer. Like if you have like a many core CPU and you have an option to like enable or disable some cores, I think you want to enable them all now, because compared to the old code of GunZ, this code utilizes all your cores much better. So I found to have better performance when all my cores were turned on. Yeah, so it's gonna take a bit of work to make it feel smooth to you, or at least somewhat smooth. It's still not perfect. Like, you see, I can like mostly do the K style, but I messed up a couple of times when I was starting to do the GDHS right. And that's because it's not as smooth as it could be. But like some of the smoothness optimizations are like kind of complex to do in terms of like programming the game. So I don't know. It's all right. It's acceptable, I think, once you make the adjustments that are necessary. So going back to the premise of this video, is GunZ ready to release? No, it's absolutely not. But I think if they really wanted to release the game soon, like there's only like maybe 4 things that like really need to be addressed. Probably the hardest one is the swords, making the swords not ping dependent. But besides that, I don't think they're that hard. Like the hit registration with the like this weapon spread, maybe that's a little hard, but like if we say each of those things takes like 4 days, that's like 8 days of development to fix the hard stuff. Then probably like a couple days to fix the easier stuff. It's like 11 days to fix it, and like, when do they even want to release it? Was it the 11th? Let's see. Yeah, August 11th. So like, like if they keep the beta open until release, then like, they could barely fix it to like a just acceptable state by then. But I don't know. Even expecting like a minimum viable product, I think they need to keep the beta open for like 2 more weeks and then delay release by like, honestly, like a month. And then I feel like they could do it. We'll see if that happens. That's just what I think. We'll see what Microsoft thinks. They've done plenty of delays before, so at this point, I don't think they're afraid of doing delays. I think it's just like a cost investment thing for them. Like, I think at this point, they're like, dude, we gotta get the fucking game out. And so I think they're just gonna do like 1 more small delay and then release. Hopefully keep the beta open and keep making rapid changes to it so we can keep testing things and helping them get this done as fast as possible. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, more videos coming. My main channel will have good videos. We'll see how many I end up making. I got video plans for like 100 videos. But, you know, if the game's not going to pop off and I can see it's not going to pop off, I'll probably make less. I might combine a lot of videos. Who knows? Maybe eventually we get a 1-to-1 IG GunZ or K GunZ release once this game dies in like 3 years or something. Who knows? We'll see what happens. That's all for now.